Well, I hope I didn't get you in too much trouble, sir, with the Germans. Confusion is what I saw, and uh, where to start? Man, you got so much going on, and I awoke and I thought this verse um, keeps sticking in my head, and also what you've got on your plate, and what needs to be done as far as unity is concerned, not just unity for Jews, but unity for all. And you have been presented with what you've been presented. We'll go into that by us. You've been updated what's going on up in the cloud. It's been ignored by you, even though Mark Zuckerberg and Disney think it's the greatest thing coming up in the cloud. And two things. One is three things, actually. You were kind enough to, and I told the queens, perfected in Reb Shua, metaphysically manifesting that. I told him, I said, he was kind enough to suggest you to be on the advisory board. What advisory board? I would assume the Sanhedrin advisory board. So get your passports, get your tickets, and get on over there to Jerusalem. And, he says he has 10, a backbone of 10 so far. I think 72 is needed or required, but 10 is good. 10 is a good number. And with two perfect Christian women seated there. Oh, you don't want to fly to Jerusalem, but your representation avatars are up in the clouds. Mm-hmm. And some weird stuff has happened up in the clouds. And there's a room with a gold orb up in the clouds. I mean, some really weird stuff has happened. So weird that we've all had to go, hey, did that really happen? Yep. We have a gold room with an ark. We call it a temple, mock temple. We've invited you up. We've stated that in this time of end times and unity required, that how are you going to process 2.2 billion sinners? And I suggested boldly, I must be nuts, I must be crazy to suggest to you that this philosophy based upon accuracy, based upon it is finished, cannot be refuted. And the understanding of the way the mind works, which most people do not. Most people do not. They didn't know how the mind worked back 2,000 years ago. We certainly do now. So I suggested that these 2.2 billion, you can take care of them with a new Reb Shua doctrine that you can use as a springboard. I suggested it's viable. I said, bring Billy Graham, bring Frank, bring any Joel Osteen. We'll crush them. You will crush them. We're on your side. We're the Jewish Christian perfect cheerleaders. Who else is going to come to you in your lifetime or the next lifetime with this bag of tricks, this carnival ride? The kingdom up in the cloud, two perfect Christians, metaphysically indoctrinated, inculcated that as within, so without, presented to you to be able to tell any Christian, hey, we got the Christians covered. But your inclusion of them implies, does it not, or conveys, does it not, that you're accepting who they have accepted for their perfection. They're up in the clouds. Weird stuff has happened up in the clouds, enough to document and say there's something divine going on here. Two things about the Jewish unity situation. I heard this on YouTube, and it's all over the internet. And let me just read this, okay? I want to do this now because of all that's been going on. The man in Daniel's vision is Mashiach seen coming in the clouds of heaven. The assumption is that Mashiach will arrive riding on the clouds of heaven. The assumption is Mashiach riding on the clouds of heaven. Our daughters, they're talking about the contradictions, but there are a lot. how then he will come riding on the clouds of heaven, or as a poor man on a donkey. Well, there's Samuel and Mashiach. But that's not what I wanted to read. This is bear with me. This is Rambam, Law of the Kings, Kings 1:1:1. In the future, the Messianic king will arise and renew the Davidic dynasty, restoring it to its initial sovereignty. The temple will be built and gathered the dispersed of Israel. Rambam says, but how much should be built by, he will lead the rest of the Jews in physical and natural process of his. However, here we go. However, Rashi, parentheses, Sukkah 41a, Rashi writes, the third temple will descend perfectly built from heaven. What? So it's these things that I read, and then the other French Jewish rabbi that said the return of Jesus could be in the cloud. Christians are waiting, the sinners are waiting. But there's so much relevancy, is the only reason I make this video for you. So you got an opportunity with First Perfect Christians. You've accepted them, offering a seat, advisory board. Foolproof philosophy, can't be touched, can't be debated by any Christian. We'll crush them. We'll crush them. We're up in the clouds, better than a Zoom call. We can hold a meeting and not require people to show their, kitchen or not their face on a Zoom call and talk. Meetings can be held. Representatives can be, there you are sitting at the head of the table with your 10 and the 2 advisories. We have a conference room. We can have whatever we want. A mock-up of each other. And instead of a Zoom call where, it's everybody's seated and they see each other on their screen. They see you, mock-up of you, your avatar, David's avatar, your father's, your brother's avatar. Everybody's seated. And call this meeting to order. Or you could even start with, a little chill time, whatever you want. Opening up the meeting with some music, you coming over the air, everybody's seated. And hey, welcome to the first Sanhedrin up in the cloud. You could make it just so powerful as a promotional tool. Hey, we're going up in the clouds. See, in the clouds, you're invited to the clouds. You 10 Cohens, David, you're invited to the clouds. What's this? Oh, we have a mock-up of you. Easy to sign on. They come on. They go to the conference table. Sounds stupid, even to me, because it has to be acted on faith. But we've had meetings before. We do Sunday services. People show up and sit down as the representative in an avatar. Music's played. You could play music, set the mood. Go into a meeting where everybody's typing, so it's recorded. Somebody that doesn't speak English, it can be converted real time, so everybody can understand. There's already a mock. We've said a temple with 2 pillars, an ark. Man, if I was in your position and I had the tools that Goys have provided you, and I could say, hey, we're going to go rebuild. We're going to go plan the temple, blueprint it, and it'll be official. We'll descend when we're ready from heaven. I don't know about you. I'm a sci-fi guy. That sounds pretty cool to me. So you got the springboard of new Christianity, the right Christianity. All these years later, when consciousness has been raised to a level that's appropriate, people can understand that I know somebody had an idea, probably a gal, for a business. She thought about it, and then she thought about it some more, and then she thought about it some more, and then voila, she got her crumble cookies. What do you think? How long did this go on? Descending from heaven, 10 minutes exactly. Boom.